YouTube, Claire here with coffee this morning. So I hope you've been enjoying the past 2 lessons on things that you should be doing before you seek training advice. It's quite a complicated topic, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Let's dive into lesson 3 of the reactive roadmap. And let me know in the comments how you're getting on. I'm happy to help people, and I can only do that if you give me something to work with. So enjoy the lesson, and I'll chat to you tomorrow. Right, welcome to lesson 3 on the Rebels roadmap. So what we're going to have a look at today is, now we've got the vet check out the way, and you've got a little bit more of basically a better idea of the specific things that your dog is barking at. Then what we need to have a look at now are the next lesson is about exercise, basically. And exercise sounds so simple, but people tend to opt for more of the physical exercise than they do of the mental exercise. Now, it's really important. Both are really important, and for different reasons. But as with anything, we've got pros and cons to both of these things. Now, what I'm going to start with are the pros to the physical exercise. Now, it's important that dogs get the right amount of exercise for their specific age, their specific breed, and their specific and individual requirements, if you like. For example, we're not going to go on a 10-mile hike with a dog who's suffering, let's go with hip dysplasia, because that's the first thing that came to my mind. I would not go out for a 10-mile hike with Sky, because I know she would start to become uncomfortable. I know that it will cause her pain, and I know full well for the next week, if not 2 weeks after that, she would struggle to even stand up on her back legs. So that's not something I would do. On the other hand, like, I have a miniature Jack Russell called Lily. She'll be what will Lily be now? Probably 6, maybe 7. I have a job remembering my own age, never mind my dog's. But I know that she's an active dog that can go for miles. And if I wanted to go out on a 2, 3, 4-day hike or adventure, that would be the dog that I would take with me, because I know she's physically able to do that. And I know she would also love it. But here's the slide, if you like, to this physical exercise. You can provide too much, and you can provide too much of the wrong stuff, basically. So I want to tell you a little story coming back to Lily. She is an active dog. She's quite a stressy dog as well, because she didn't have what I would consider to be the best upbringing in terms of her puppyhood. She was moved from one place to the next. She was also the runt of the litter. Her mum was a puppy farm dog, so she was quite stressed during the pregnancy and the birth, which gets passed on to the dogs, the puppies, basically. However, rambling there. All of that aside, I made a pretty vital error with Lily in the form of the tennis ball. Now, she loved the tennis ball. She still loves the tennis ball to this day. But what I ended up doing with Lily is I used to go and used to walk a couple of German Shepherds. I used to take Sky with me, and I would have Lily. I would perhaps have another one of my dogs. What's going on with my hair here? So basically there would be a group of dogs. And these Shepherds love playing with the tennis ball, so I incorporated that into their activity. What I didn't realise was happening was I was creating an addict in Lily, particularly. The other dogs were fine with it. They chased the tennis ball, they'd collect, whoever got it would pick it up and they'd bring it back, and they'd be happy enough settling. Whereas what Lily was developing was an addiction to chasing that ball. And it got to the point where I could not even put my hand in my pocket before she would get impatient. And if dogs could talk, and if she could talk to me, she'd be saying, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. Not a good mindset to be in. So we stopped. So when you're looking at your physical exercise, I want you to really look at whether A, your dog is getting enough of it, B, whether they're getting too much of it, and 3, are they getting the right sort of exercise? Now, I haven't mentioned much about the mental stimulation just yet, but I'm coming on to it, so bear with me. So although physical exercise is important, for making sure that the dogs don't carry any additional weight, it's great for us as well to get out and about and our mental health. And really, I think that's probably one of the main reasons we get a dog, is for companionship and to go out on long walks and adventures and stuff. But when you've got a barking dog as well, let's put this back to the barking here, Claire. If you're going out every day and your dog's practicing this barking at other dogs, at other people, at traffic, at birds, at the postman, whatever it is, that behaviour is becoming an addiction. Let's look at it like an addiction. We're building this habit that the dog gets into of, I bark at this, I bark at this. And as with anything, the more we do it, and the more that it works for the dog, the more they're going to use it. So when it comes to exercise, I like to look at the whole picture. So like I've just said, is the dog getting enough? Are they getting too much? What sort of stuff are they doing on their walks? But what I really like to incorporate is a lot more enrichment activities. And what I mean by enrichment and mental stimulation is getting the dog using their head. You know, we've got an intelligent species here. And dogs love doing things such as sniffing. My guys love doing activities such as shaping and working things out. And basically, I get the dogs using their brain and using their head. Right the way up from, you know, we can start as simple as doing a scatter feeding activity. And what I mean by that is scattering a few biscuits on the floor on your walk and letting your dog sniff them out. If your dog's more into toys, then instead of constantly throwing the tennis ball, can you put your dog into a sit-stay, go and hide that ball, and then send them to go and search for it, get them using their nose. A couple of really simple activities you can use there. What else was I going to say on this? You can start from something such as basic as scatter feeding and searching for a toy, right the way up to more advanced stuff where we're teaching the dog to look for specific scents, or we're teaching the dog to do tracking past previous triggers, i.e. other dogs on the park, and the dog stays focused on the task. So what I want you to look at today is, there are a lot of pros to mental stimulation. I'm trying to think of some cons to it. There aren't very many. Probably brachyphilic breeds or squishy face breeds, because I can't say that word very well, would probably struggle with this a little bit more than, say, your working dogs, your spaniels, your labs, your pointers, shepherds. But at the same time, they're still going to be doing it, so we can include that for them. Other cons, maybe... Probably one con would actually be that owners would do too much with the dog. So because this sniffing work and this exercising the brain work is so powerful, we don't need to do a great deal of it. Like, as an example, for this scatter feeding that I've recommended you do, I take the dog's dinner at night and we go out onto the front and I scatter both the shepherds. I do them 2 by 2 just because it's easier. I go and scatter both of the shepherd's biscuits all over the lawn, and it probably takes them 10, maybe 15 minutes to find all those pieces of food up and eat them. That's enough. That is fine. If I didn't do anything else with my dogs during the day, obviously I do, but if I didn't do anything else, that would be sufficient for them, and they'd settle and they'd chill. So just incorporate something like that into your daily exercise routine. You don't have to allocate any extra time. This is stuff that you can do on the walk with your dog. You can do it when you're watching the TV or you're boiling the kettle or whatever. You can fit this into your daily activity. If you haven't got 10 minutes to spare in your day, something is bloody wrong. So nice simple stuff there. Think about the exercise that your dog is doing and what it is that they're getting. And let's see if we can add in some more enrichment, mental stimulation sort of activities for them. There are lots of pros to sniffing work, especially, and it's pretty much for any range of age of dog. Like, it helps my old girl with her, she's got basically canine cognitive dysfunction, so she's starting to get a bit forgetful and, what's the word, a bit clumsy in her old age, if you like. So we do a lot of it for that. On the flip side, my younger dogs, Hunter, I do it with because he was born for it. Another shepherd, he is shit hot on the mark with scent work. Lily, I do it with because if I didn't, then I would know about it. Digger's not that into it, but he will do it. So there was lots of reasons why you should be doing scent work or sniffing work with your dog specifically. Now, I was going to go into the whole my dog won't take food whilst out, or my dog won't take food whilst barking. What I'm going to do is, because I've rambled a lot on this video about the exercise, I'm going to put this into tomorrow's lesson for you, so you can learn a little bit more about why your dog might not be doing these sort of things outside. So, task for today: include mental stimulation or enrichment activities for your dog on the walk, or as an extra, if you like, whilst you're in the house. Right, going now, stopping rambling. Chat soon.